I am proposing to the City Council that we can save over $12 million if we move now to effect these cutbacks. That can be done without firing people. It can be done without affecting the level of service which the citizens of the city have come to expect. It can be done without seriously affecting any department. Essentially, these cuts are in the areas of new programs that were authorized under the new budget, some of which have not yet been initiated. We have just entered the new fiscal year, 1973-74. And as we finished our budget, as I have observed before, we had a multi-million-dollar one-time windfall that spells troubles for us next year as we approach the budget preparation, unless we begin now to cut back. I therefore ask the department heads to examine their own budgets and to suggest their priorities as to what cuts they thought they could accept, could live with. That was then reviewed by the city administrative officer. I then spent 2 days with the entire staff of the city administrative officer's office, and we came up with a number of recommendations. I have proposed to the council that they examine these proposals and that they act upon them. They have scheduled their Finance Committee hearings for September 3rd and 4th, and the entire matter will be before the council on September the 6th. I am convinced that we're going to have to do much more in the coming year than we have in the past to try to live within our revenue means in order to avoid any further tax burden on the people of the city. And
the largest single item of an operating department is the police department with $2.75 million. Where will that cut be felt by the department?
In every department, we ask them to set their priorities, and we have taken across the board look at them. And in terms of percentages, I think that when you look at the total amount of the police budget, it is no different than other departments. The figure is simply larger because they are the largest single department in terms of their budget needs. The cuts are in a number of areas. Some of the major cuts, for example, deal with some salary savings which we expect that they're going to be able to make. $500,000 in civilian and uniform salary savings. Some cut, and 10% cut in overtime pay that was a part of the budget. That's a substantial amount.
How do you expect those cuts in crime? We hear it's on the increase, and we do have that as a major problem. There would be cuts in the time that the officers are doing.
Well, when we talk about salary savings, this is money they were not going to spend, but it is allocated in the budget. Now, there's no point in it being allocated if we think that, and they think, that these savings can be made. We are not cutting back on the number of personnel. We haven't cut a single police officer. As a matter of fact, we expect to expand our police department in the coming year. And some of the areas, they were simply matters of upgrading, giving promotions and therefore higher salaries for these special programs. And we're simply cutting out these kinds of changes.
Mr. Mayor, was this a demand made by you, or did you talk to the department heads and kind of determine where cuts could be made?
I talked to the department heads, told them that we wanted to make these cuts, asked them to submit their own recommendations. They came in with something like $5 million worth of proposed cuts. I asked the CAO to look at the entire program again, line by line. They did. And they came in with a set of figures that said, well, it's possible to cut 18 million perhaps. And then there was a question of a balance between these two extremes. And we came in with a figure that's about $12 million.
Mr. Mayor, what kind of deficit will we have next year? Do you expect that you will cut that deficit in half?
Well, the 24 million one-time windfall of the revenue sharing, that will not be available next time. And so that...
Have you had an estimate of what the revenue sharing in Los Angeles will be next year? Looks like we're heading for a crisis, that thing is leveling out. Are we going to have a small deficit each year that you'll have to deal with, or how does it look?
You know, the problems of the moment are sufficiently severe that we're preoccupied with that instead of trying to look 3 years or 2 years down the road. But it's very clear, just in the general trend of things, with the increase in the cost of living, the increase in salaries that occurs each year at the rate of almost 5%, that our demands are going to grow, and our source of revenue is simply not growing fast enough to meet those demands. That in and of itself will mean that we're going to have continuing problems with regard to revenues to meet the kinds of services that the people want and are asking for.
Is it going to become a more severe problem than it is now?
I hope that, I think there's a question here.
A number of civilian